was during this 89 to 91 period. We came into contact with Kaleikuriprsad, and he has written a song in Chunduru agitation.
But that time he came out of People's War.
People's War. After coming out
from
Virasam or people, I do not know especially is Virasam or People's War, but after coming from the left pattern, he has been in APCLC, Andhra Pradesh Civil Liberties Committee, and we have really toured from Vijayawada to Ongonu, giving the street theatres. So what are the police raids on people and how people should be aware of and how painful the people are like. There are very big personalities like Bose Garu from Vijayawada APCLC and Navata, and then there is someone, Mr. Ram Prasad, who is an advocate, and so a few real personalities who took up the issues and built up street theatres. And that time Kaleikuri was also there in this AP Civil Liberties Committee, and he was also in the tour program. After that, I think he has turned into a real Dalit Ambedkarite, and he had built up a fascination towards the Ambedkarism, and then read a lot of books and made different arguments. And when there were these burning issues like Chunduru and all, he has really changed and played a major role in writing the articles, one hand, and reflecting the issue in the form of songs. Like Chunduru Gundelagayam, the one of the famous songs, Kumili Poyina, Naligi Poyina, Chunduru Gundelagayam, Dalita, Sagutunna Sainika Sadram, which reflected the whole issue, and this was the strength of the Chunduru movement.
Really?
Really. Because to achieve the victory, I think 3 or 4 things play a major role. Like one is leadership, the other is the disciplinary of the people, the other who makes the community alive is the song, their own song. And exactly at this juncture, the Christian tunes have been filled up with the words like Dalit. Like for example, Kumili Poyina, Naligi Poyina is a Christian song. That is one sort of song which people always sing. So that tune has been taken and filled in with these words of the people's words. And now we forget the old Christian song and we remember only this for me. Maybe it's, I cannot say it's balanced or not, but the people at that time, it was very energy. When people sit and think of themselves, the songs made a lot of engagement or occupation of the people to keep the fire alive. Chunduru happened in 1991 August, and we had gone to Delhi sometime in November, December. So this 6 months, what will put us alive? So that is the real songs. There are songs written by the people or the songs written by Kaleikuri, and Kaleikuri's song in the victory of Chunduru has really grabbed a big bite in the cake of the victory of Chunduru. So that I think we have to salute him for giving such a wonderful song in that issue. He played his role as a person or a personality. And then he also wrote different songs about women, about the youth he has written, about when there are clashes between Mala and Madiga community also. He has written some few songs about Joshua, the hero legendary in Andhra, who was the biggest, greatest poet.
Joshua from Madiga.
Joshua community. And he has written very great song about him, I think. And likewise to engage the youth and some folk songs, and that was major contribution. The very thing I have seen about Kaleikuri was he is not afraid of anybody. Like what he reads, what he sees and what he writes is his own voice. He will not duplicate others' words or voices. He has his own style, we call it, no? His own way of articulating his things, and he's not a man of compromise. Very few, very few people we find in Andhra Pradesh who doesn't compromise with the voice for the communities. That one, the first place goes to Katti Padmarao garu, who does like this. And among the other few is Kaleikuri and some others like that.
You are still part of movement, Katti Padmarao movement.
Of course, when there are some issues, we go. Recently, he celebrated his
So that
60th.
you are officially part of Dalit
Not
Mahasabha.
officially. We are officially part of Dalit movement,
Yeah,
but
okay.
not the individual
Madam,
banners.
Katti Padmarao sir saying, okay, anyway, let us not get into that.
Yeah.
Then ma'am,
And then after this 1991 Chunduru issue, there was a Beijing conference, and then the major milestone was Durban conference, and in between that there were many attacks on Dalits.
okay.
And in between, I think I have played a major role in Amaravati. There was an issue, Gandham Samala, who was going to a prayer meeting, have been raped by 4 of the youth there, and then with the help of the local Adavada Hakkula Sangam, the women led the movement there.
Dalit women.
Dalit women. With the help of the local Adavada Hakkula
What was that
Sangam.
issue, ma'am?
Gandham Samla, she was going for a prayer meeting at 9 o'clock in the evening, and when she was about to reach the prayer meeting, some 4 youth went and grabbed the woman.
Which caste, ma'am?
Gandham Samla was a Dalit woman.
That
The 4 belonged to 4 other castes.
Kamma, Reddy.
Dalit, BC,
Okay.
and some other forward caste like that. And that issue has been taken up by us.
They
and
raped
then,
her.
Raped, and while they were raping, I think she died.
Oh.
They raped the dead body. The worst part of it is that they grabbed the women into an auto, closed her mouth.
Okay, she
When
died.
they closed her mouth, she died. They took that body, and 4 youth happened to rape.
Okay.
And this is a very serious angle that where we have to look into, like. So this issue has been given visibility, taken into the collector's office, and then something has been done to the family. The issue is still pending, and nobody to bother about or something like that.
Okay.
In between 91 and 95 in Rajupalam Mandalam, the higher caste man was tried to catch a woman, and she said no, she denied, and then he cut off her hair. So what we find in Ramayana and Mahabharata. So when they say that a woman is beautiful, they cut off her nose. The same thing is being happening today also. They cut off her head or they rape the dead body. Similarities of the attack of man and society, both one side man and other side the upper community, doing the worst things to the Dalit communities and Dalit women. So these sort of issues have been there, and we tried to give a visibility. From 89 to until now, I have been struggling that in whichever movement we participate, in Andhra Pradesh for last 2 decades, there is no visibility of Dalit women leadership. There are Dalit women leaders who we led the Chunduru issue. There is no visibility. The man and I don't know, the male society dominates life. In Andhra for the last 2 decades, we ask a question to the now generations. They say, who are the leaders? Katti Padmarao, Gaddar, B.S. Ramulu, Kancha Ailaya, and XYZ, Emma Krishna Madhiga. But what happened to the women who fought along with this man, who have been in the movements along with this man? So that struggle has been a part of me right from 89. So to give an identity to myself and say that women are intellectuals, women are leaders, women are able to write, women had the say in the literature. And I feel proud to say the first book published by Kaleikuri was by me, the Dalita Sahichyam. What has been happening in the literature, revolution of the literature. I identified Kaleikuri and made him sit and made him write for 15 days. Though it was a very small book, he tried to provoke the discussion of what the history of Dalit Sahichyam has been.
Dalit Sahitya means book, literature.
Literature, Dalita Sahichyam. published by Dalit Women Literary Parishad. Simply we had a board, Dalit women can publish.
Okay.
Dalit women are intellectuals.
You have those books, ma'am?
Those books I have, and I think around 2,000 to 4,000 copies have been distributed when he was alive, and he was supposed to write part 2. But I think by then he has gone to different organizations and wrote editorials and so on. And now who are doing any, what I can say, research on Dalit Sahityam, I think should refer this book, Dalit Sahityam,
Okay.
how it has come and so on. So all these women, even in the Dalit movement, the Dalit women leadership has been not visible. When we put this question at local level, state level, national level or any level, they say, if the Dalits get the power and so on, these are simple questions like. But that doesn't seem it is the real answer like. Simultaneously, a growth of a movement or a person or a personality should be combined, that they ought to give respect to women, they ought to recognize women. In this Chunduru issue or Karamchedu issue or maybe Timasamudram issue or any other issue, the women played a major role. Look at the world through women eyes, then you find solutions. Was a slogan given in Beijing by 33,000 women. To any problem you want to find a solution, look at the world through women eyes. But the Dalit movement have to look at the world through women eyes, and women have been the basis of this movement. Like in the church you find 90% women, but the rulers all males because given to the hierarchical structures. Likewise in the Dalit movement also, you see in the Chunduru movement the women participated a lot, like they sat, they questioned. In fact, when they went to Delhi, they said, what you need for this answer to this question, and you file the cases, you put them in the jail, and then you build a court. So there was no compromise about this. And one fellow from the Chunduru victims questioned that, you president, you are telling that you will give 1 lakh rupees on my father's head, but I will kill the people who killed my father and give 2 lakhs, will you agree? So that was the sort of Chaitanyam response that was from the Sibiram. And the wives of the people, persons who have been murdered, plays a very major role in standing up and then fighting and struggling with that. And anybody, when any issue comes, so struggle for 1 day, 1 week, 1 month, okay. But after 1 month to struggle for 15 years, it's not a small thing like. So that energy has been given by different leaders or community or songs or maybe the way we proceeded in a democratic way. So I think when we analyze making the basis Karamchedu or Chunduru, even in Karamchedu, when one Mrs. Hetuvada Lakshmi, she was Sita Mahalakshmi, Guduru Sita Mahalakshmi was her name. She is in the atheist movement. So the atheist movement in Telugu is called Hetuvada. So she was in that movement, and it is said her name was changed as Hetuvada Lakshmi. And she has been organizing the women of the Karamchedu. And then when the
She's
leader...
from which caste?
She is from backward community.
BC. Okay. BC like Kap, Turupu Kap.
BC is... actually,
Achha, okay.
she is from a BC community.
community.
Something like Kapu or something like...
You want to take the call? Okay.
And then when the leader of Karamchedu was arrested, Katti Padmarao, she was the one who took all the women to Hyderabad, and you referred to those papers. She made N.T. Ramarao, the chief minister, the then chief minister, come out, and then she questioned, you release our leader and you take up our case or not, we are not going to, do or die situation.
In Hyderabad?
In Hyderabad.
They came from Karamchedu to
Hyderabad. And then in the Telugu paper headlines, N.T. Ramarao బొడ్లో చేయేసి బయటికి తీసుకొచ్చిన హేతువాద లక్ష్మి. ఎన్టీ రామారావు బొడ్డులో చేయి పెట్టి బయటికి తీసుకొచ్చి నిలదీసిన హేతువాద లక్ష్మి.
ఇట్లా సట్ అయ్యి
atla. That was the headlines of those days. I can submit the papers if sometimes you are interested. Where are these legendary women in the movement?
Even literature also known, huh?
Literature also. She
Where is she?
published some literature also
She herself
after
published?
20 years. About Savitribai Phule or about education, writing some articles and all. So there are few women here and there, but only the male leaders have been focused and the females have been long. So now I think these generations has to dig up like. See, Kaleikuri's death ceremony has been broadcasted in papers or much. So that is the end of it. But when the youth take up something and put it in the website all over the world, see, it is something like connecting east and west, knowing and what is happening that side. And that camera has done. And this sort of youth should jump in. That's what I'm telling. Even those leaders, after 30 years of their life, they came into the movement. But we, our generations, I am really proud to tell that we came at the age of 19 and we contributed our youth stage to the movement.
Complete.
Contributed.
You completely contributed.
Contributed, which means 22 decades. So the movement has come to peaks. We won Chunduru because only the youth has taken up. Of course, the leader is elder and Dalit Mahasabha and all. Youth has played a very major role. Staying there, organizing people, questioning, challenging, thinking, creating awareness, bringing new dimensions. So all that. So I feel that this should be carried on forward. After that long gap of 20 years, again I could find your media or the students who are really directly interested in the communities being involved in the issues. So that made difference for our community. It enhances our awareness or maybe something which we are dreaming at. So that was other angle about that. Right from 87 when I went Thailand and given lecture, after that I had a lot of opportunities from the youth community.